Hello everyone and welcome back to the season finale of our UF1 Ultimate F1 Championship Career Mode Universe, whatever you want to call it. We've got a banger in store for you today. Alain Prost is going head to head with Gerhard Berger and it's just a single point in it. Berger versus Prost, McLaren versus Ferrari. Let's take a look at the starting grid right now. We get a fantastic, Game, of course he does, Game gets a fantastic pole with Senna alongside him with a great qualifying position. Prost out-qualifies his teammate Mansell in Mansell's final race. Gerhard Berger down in 5th place. Disappointing qualifying for him, but he's ready to go. Nannini, fantastic all season in P6, just ahead of his teammate Nelson Piquet in 7th, Boutsen and Bertresi 9th and 8th and 9th in their final races for Williams. Capelli in the Leighton house, followed by his teammate 11th. Bernard is in 12th place. We've got Alesi and Suzuki taking up 13th and 14th. Derek Warwick in his final F1 Grand Prix is down in 15th place, just ahead of a lot. And we have Modena in 17th place alongside Brabham, just in front of Brabham I should say. Nakajima takes 19th. Tini in 20th place, Alboreto in 21st with Larini just behind him in 22nd place, Barilla takes 23rd, Grulard in 24th, Cafi 25th and Giacomelli in 26th. Now we have had a fantastic qualifying. I do not know where it came from, so I was I fluked it, absolutely fluked it, but we need a good send-off for Lotus. It's been a good season, up and down. The second half of the season has been a little bit disappointing, but we've had a great start. Senna alongside us. Senna will be looking for a win. He's not had a win this season. Oh, we've lost the rear. We've lost the rear on exit turn 2. That's allowed Senna to come through. That's allowed Prost to come through. Actually, that's Mansell. Mansell's come through. Mansell, and is that Berger up the inside of Prost? He is. He's barged his way through, and that's Berger up into 4th place. And I believe that does give him the world championship if it stays like that. Prost has the advantage of the 1 point, but here's Berger just dives. He knew he had to. He clipped the inside wall a little bit. Oh, I reckon he was flapping in that cockpit, but that was absolutely what he needed to do, up the inside of Alain Prost. And here he is. Here is Gerhard Berger just ahead of Alain Prost. And Prost will need to get on it as quickly as possible. He can't really afford to lose any time because we know the McLaren is probably a faster car overall, but we hark back to ourselves. We are down into 3rd place, but we have got our next season teammate just ahead of us in P2. We're going to sweep round the outside of Mansell. We're making a statement right here, but Mansell's clipped the wall and he's round. He did crash into us, but he's taken Berger with him. He's taken Prost with him. Is there any damage to Prost? Is there any damage to Berger? I'm not entirely sure. We'll have to look. We'll have to have a quick look and see. I don't know. I do not know what happened, but here's a replay. Berger up. Oh, I see. That's Mansell dives. He clips the wall. I don't think by the looks of that. Oh, Nannini. Oh, that's disappointing. That is disappointing. What a great season he's had. He wanted to end on a high. But Nannini has lost his front wing. Mansell's lost his front wing. It's a pretty audacious move there from Mansell. We'll look on board. And he clips the inside wall and just hits the side of the game. He's hit the wrong part of him, my friend. And then he just drives into the path of Alexander and Nannini. A bit of a bystander there, but it's Senna leads. Senna is out in front at the Australian Grand Prix, and he has been here before this season, but mechanical failures have let him down. He has been absolutely mighty this weekend though. He knows that he doesn't really need to help his teammate now, and he can just get straight on it. Push straight back to us. We are up into P2. We definitely do not have the pace of Ayrton Senna. Senna is absolutely monster. We do have Gerhard Berger, who's 5 seconds behind us. He lost a lot of time in the Mansell incident. Prost is just behind him. It will be interesting to see how this plays out. It's still a long way to go. But here's Berger now. He's starting to put out ahead a little bit of Prost. The gap is opening up. It'll be, I think Prost really needs to get on it. It depends if he doesn't have an answer for him. But Prost, maybe he could just be holding back. We call him the Professor. We're right on board now. Briefly. Oh, we look at the back there with a lovely shot of Gerhard Berger's rear wing looking at Alain Prost's Ferrari. But we know that Prost is a professor of the game, and he'll have a plan in his head, and he'll know exactly what he needs to do. But at this present point in time, as it stands, Gerhard Berger will be world champion. Now, Game in the Lotus has lost a lot of time. He doesn't have the pace of the McLaren hour or Ferrari for that matter, and Berger is all over the back of him, but he really needs to get this move done soon because Prost has... Oh, they almost come together. Oh, I reckon he got a punch. He would have got a punch if it had taken Gerhard Berger out there. Oh, but that has given Berger a bit of momentum now because there is now a car, a position between himself and Alain Prost, which means Alain Prost is absolutely, categorically the world champion if it stays like this, but I have a big feeling it's not going to stay like that. And we'll see how this plays out, but Prost will need to get past quickly, and that's game out wide, and that's going to allow Alain Prost round the outside. What a fantastic move. He did do it off the track, but we don't mind. What a fantastic move. He needed to do that. He absolutely needed to do that, did Alain Prost, the Frenchman, the Ferrari driver. He's looking quite far behind Gerhard Berger now. If he's got the pace, he's going to need to put it down now. But there is Nelson Piquet. Here is Thierry Boutsen in his final Grand Prix for the Williams team. They get an all-new lineup. Oh, that's poor. That is an awful way to send off. Well, that's pretty much how his season's gone, really. It's ended exactly how it began, really, for Thierry Boutsen. But we're right on board with Game now, whose tyres are up the creek. He's radioed in to say he's going to have to pit. This has been a long issue with the Lotus car. Derek Warwick says it's an absolute disaster. He is absolutely baffled by how Game has managed to score the points and podiums in which he has. Nothing but praise for the young Brit. But he is in for a set of fresh tyres, and he's come out in P8, just ahead of Gugelmin, the Leighton House driver, and he is 2.2 seconds behind Bernard, who in theory should be easy prey for the Lotus driver. But we are looking at Alain Prost here, and he's clipped the wall! Alain Prost, he's clipped the wall! Ignore the other Ferrari livered car, that's not Manson. But that's Prost. Prost has clipped the wall, and has that sealed his fate? Has that sealed and given the world championship to Gerhard Berger? He was pushing. He was mightily quick in the last couple of laps, was Alain Prost. And an uncharacteristic mistake from the professor. But switched straight back to Game, who's diving up the inside of Bernard. It's a lovely move. Click, easy. Up into P7. He's just a single position away from a championship point. And that is absolutely fantastic. We want to sign off in style. He joins the Williams team alongside Nigel Mansell. They don't see eye to eye though. Both Brits, but they're not seeing eye to eye so far. I don't think he's just going to sit back and be a number 2 driver, but we'll see how it all pans out. This is Capelli, who has actually had... This is not Capelli, it's Nannini, my apologies. Absolutely fantastic. He's had a great season as Nannini. He deserves all his plaudits, deserved his new deal, got that absolutely fantastic win at the French Grand Prix in Paul Ricard. Here is Ivan Capelli. I was a little bit too quick there, but he's been fantastic in that Leighton House. That Leighton House has been fantastic this season. I'm hoping they can push on and maybe fight a little bit closer to the front for next season. But we've got Ricardo Patrese. We're looking at the car we will be the team we will be driving for next season. I hope it's not the car. But yes, we're looking at the back of the team that we are driving for. But we are not driving for them at this present point in time. So we are trying to dive up the inside or make a swift move around the outside. It's a fantastic run. We do fresh rubber, so the speed is far superior. But Senna still leads. He is absolutely flying, pulling huge distance in front of everyone, really, with Gerhard Berger, his teammate, 11.5 seconds behind. I'm not sure what the gap between Berger and Prost is. We may get it here, we may not, but we will see. Prost is 9 seconds behind. That might be it. That could be it. But here we look at the fantastic Ayrton Senna driving a fantastic Grand Prix in the final Grand Prix of the season. He deserves a race win this season. He has been incredibly unlucky, and he said he definitely will absolutely categorically be a championship contender in 1991, and we have absolutely zero doubts. All that private stuff is out of the way, and he is back to Grand Prix racing. We look at, it's Nannini here, who's got himself into a bit of he's clipped the wall, and out goes Nannini. His bad race turns even worse in his Benetton. And that is a shame for Nannini. He's had a fantastic season, but he can hold his head high. Benetton are absolutely over the moon with him. Yeah, it's been fantastic. But here is Nigel Mansell in his final Grand Prix for the Ferrari team before he heads back to Williams, and in hopes of a world championship that has eluded him so far in his career. A fantastic drive. It didn't really work at Ferrari. He didn't see eye to eye with the Scuderia outfit and didn't see eye to eye with Alain Prost. Two very, very different characters and two very, very different drivers. Mansell didn't really like the car, but he's over the moon. He's heading to Williams. He's got an early flight back, he said. He can't wait to be out of here. Back on board again. We have got ourselves up into P5. We've got Nelson Piquet just ahead of us. And we are really, really pushing. 5 to go. 5 to go to the end of the race. But Piquet is 9.3 seconds ahead. And we have clipped over the wall. We lost it. Oh, hit the wall. That's a rear wing gone. That is absolutely a rear wing gone. But we're not too sure. We're not too sure. We nearly take out Capelli in the Leighton house. And that's Patrese getting straight past us. That's us testing to see if we have a rear wing. And we don't have a rear wing. And that's almost a huge crash as we hit the concrete wall. But we managed to keep the engine going, and we could. Oh, we've clipped Suzuki, I believe, or it's Google. No, it's definitely we clipped someone. I'm not sure who that was, but it's been a disaster. It's been an absolute disastrous end to the season, and we enter the pits once again for damage repairs. And because we want to get to the end of this Grand Prix, we are going to allow them to put a rear wing on. Usually, we would retire from the race. But that's just how it is. We want to get to the end. We've got just the 4 laps to go. We must put it in the wall coming out the pits. We are last. We are last. But here is Gerhard Berger, who looks absolutely set to become a world champion of 1990. He's been fantastic from race 1 to race 16 in this season, and really hasn't really put a foot wrong. A couple of crashes, actually, he has put a couple of feet wrong. But this is not the champion we thought we'd be seeing at the start of this season. When the McLaren team unveiled their car at the start of the season, we thought it'd be Senna. Senna taking all the plaudits, all the race wins, with Berger maybe taking a couple to pick up the pieces, but it's not. It's the Austrian driver of Gerhard Berger who will claim his maiden world championship at the end of this race. If it stays the same, we are absolutely certain it will. But we look at Ayrton Senna, the Brazilian maestro who hasn't won a Grand Prix this season, but he is about to put that right at the final attempt, and he rounds the final corner to take his first win of the season, and that will set him up lovely for 1990. Senna wins the Australian Grand Prix. Absolutely top notch. Here is Gerhard Berger, your 1990 world champion in his Marlboro McLaren car, and he is the 1990 world champion Gerhard Berger. Fantastic. Alain Prost drove a fantastic race. Well, he didn't actually do, he clipped the wall, but that's fine. But Alain Prost will come home in third place in the race, second in the championship standards, and he can be proud of himself. Absolutely fantastic season from him. But here's Nelson Piquet in his final Grand Prix, and he will take a lovely P4. And here is Capelli taking a big 5th place, with Patrese just behind him in 6th points on his final Grand Prix for the Williams team. And we are riding on board with ourselves now as we head down into the final sector. We told we were going to get to the end of this Grand Prix. We really wanted to get to the end. We did end up a lap behind because at one point we were in 2nd place. But yeah, we're good to get out of this team. I've learned a lot this season. It's been a difficult season, especially the second half. The second half with absolutely no upgrades to this car. Everyone upgrading around us. We're going to dive up the inside of Gio Camelli and take B19. We're not going to be last. And we cross the line. And dearie me. But here is your 1990 world champion, Gerhard Berger. And I promise you, none of you predicted that at the start of this season. He is absolutely over the moon. Your world champion and first time world champion Gerhard Berger. There we have it, that's the final classifications for the final round of the championship season. Senna wins the Grand Prix from 9.6 seconds ahead of his teammate with a McLaren 1-2 ending on a high. Alain Prost finishing in third place. Nelson Piquet, as we confirmed just before the weekend started, it will be his final Grand Prix in Formula 1. Mansell there, low down. Game was low down. And Nini retired. And it was an incident-packed Grand Prix. But I hope you massively enjoyed it. It was a great race. But let's take a look at them standings. Gerhard Berger wins it by a point. 1 point ahead of Alain Prost in the Ferrari. Senna climbing his way up into P3. Fantastic recovery from Senna considering how bad it was in the early stages of the championship season. Nannini didn't manage to pit Mansell. Would have done if it had stayed in the Grand Prix, but that's a fantastic result from an absolutely fantastic Benetton team. Game being Nelson Piquet is a huge, you can understand why he got a Williams drive. There's a few rumours that Williams may have been regretting their decision to pull the trigger too early on game, but we'll have to see how that transpires. The contract has been signed, so there's nothing they can do about it now. McLaren win the Constructors' Championship to make it a double ahead of the Ferrari team. Benetton with a fantastic third, Lotus in fourth, who beat Williams to the championship. And if you have enjoyed the 1990 season, make sure you join us very soon for 1991. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.